It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Carbon Express,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Scent Hunting Sense,
Killer Food Plots, Seeds, Supplements, and Attractants,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Twisted Minds Bowstrings,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Antler Action,
and Family Traditions Treestand.
And don't forget you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight with Dan DeFall on a rainy Sunday evening.
What's happening? It has been raining.
It has been busy. Work is still not letting up, but I got the bow out today and did some shooting and quite pleased with 40 and 50-yard shots. I'm ready to rock.
Awesome. I was out last night helping Gabby fine-tune her bow. She was shooting at 20 yards, so she's ready to go. We're heading up to the UP Wednesday.
I hope to get up next weekend, but I don't know yet. I have to kind of wait and see what's going on. Hey, Mike Sanders. He says he's ready. Oh, are we ready for tomorrow? I wish I could get out, but I won't be able to, unfortunately. So, but you want to jump right into this?
You know what? Let's just jump right into it because it's time to talk some fun stuff.
Yeah, we got a call tonight from Dan Jasa, PSE Archery. He's a sales manager. He's down in Ohio. Dan, what's going on?
How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing great, man. It's you've been putting on some frequent flyer miles, I think.
Yeah, a few more than normal, I guess.
Yeah, it's you were over in Italy, and then next thing I know, you're over in Tucson and doing some unveiling of bows over there with PSE, and now you're back in Ohio. So,
and then you ran out to the deer stand.
Yeah, got out for a little bit last night. It was kind of a last second thing, but it was good to be back in the woods. So the little bit I've gotten to hunt the last couple of years, it was just nice to be able to get out on an opening day again.
That's cool. Hey, let's kind of just jump right into this stuff tonight. You know, you called up. We saw you online this week. You were out in Tucson. PSE just launched their 2019 hunting bow lineup, and I tell you what, I'm excited. You guys got some new tools in the shed, so to speak.
Yeah, this time of year is always fun for us. It's like we get into July, August, September, and all of us kind of know what's coming as far as like, all right, next week we get to go out to Tucson, go see all the new bows and see what engineering's been working on. I mean, we've got probably the greatest engineers that are in the industry right now, so it's always fun to go out there. And I got out there on Monday real early before everyone else got there, so I got to take a little walk through the engineering area and go, hey, what's that? Hey, what's that? What are we doing with this? So it's always fun being out there and seeing the stuff the engineers are working on. And this year with target bows, talking about, hey, what are we going to do next? And kind of giving them my input of what I've been seeing with the target bows and what I like about them and things I want to change. And so it's just nice to be out there and talk with the engineers and start looking at products for the future. And then obviously later in the week, get to see the stuff they come up with after we talked at last year's sales meeting and actually see the fruits of their labor come to life and see the new bows. And yeah, we're pretty excited about this year's lineup.
I got a question. Speaking of that, since he's walked with the engineers, does it all start from a sketch of what they want the bow to maybe look like or the cam to look like?
I think every engineer probably works a little bit different. A lot of guys will probably start with like the computer programs and stuff, but I think for the most part, they kind of decide, okay, which direction do we want to go? And then you design a cam and then you design a riser around the cam and kind of go from that. But I think all the engineers work a little bit differently. If you've ever talked to many engineers, you know, their minds aren't quite gelling with everyone else. They've kind of got their own way of how they like to do things.
So they actually start with the cam first and work to the body of the bow.
I think that's the way we've done it the last few years with, especially with the Evolve cam being a center pull bow or center pull a cam. You've got to have the riser in the right geometry to work with the cam. So.
Oh, okay. Because how GM does it when I work with the studio, they start with a sketch and then work backwards. Then they
very possibly could. I don't know.
Then I get to rain.
All I know is I've seen the computer stuff. So
okay, then I get to rain on their parade.
Did you notice what he said? He's talking about how engineers think a little differently. That's the problem I got with you around here in the studio.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
We always known he's been a little bit off.
Well, I can't say nothing.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just jump right in. I mean, the first thing I saw from PSE on the video was the 2019 Evoke 31 and 35. You know, we're shooting the Evolves, and now you've got something new to put in our hands. The same axle to axle 31, 35. Talk a little bit about the Evoke and how that's different than maybe the Evolve that we're all familiar with.
So like we talked about with the 28 when it came out, we like to listen to our consumers. We like to listen to guys that are in the shops telling dealers what they want, what they like, what they don't like about the bows. And we try to build a bow that's going to fit what the consumer's wanting. So this year we went with a little bit longer riser, and we actually shortened the limb up just a little bit. It's still a pretty preloaded limb, but it's not as highly preloaded as the longer limbs we've had in the past. So what that's going to do is with the shorter limb, give it a little less feedback whenever you shoot. So the two new Evokes are more dead in the hand than even how dead the Evolves were whenever you shoot them. So it's you look at it and the specs are about identical, but the bow feels totally different.
Really?
Yeah, I mean you wouldn't think that little bit of a change, like an inch on a limb or a 2-inch longer riser or something like that, would make it feel that much different, but it really does make it feel totally different. So we shot them back to back, and I think the new ones feel amazing.
When you talk about feedback in the hand, I mean, are you talking about like a buzz? Are you talking about vibration? What are we talking? Or just response?
You guys have shot the Evolves. You know, there's not a whole lot there, but with the shorter limb, it feels like there's even less, say, feedback, hand shock, or a little bit of vibration. There's way less of that on the new bows than there was in the old ones, even though there wasn't very much on the old Evolves.
Man, to get even less than nothing that's incredible.
Now the draw length on these, we can get out to what now?
So what we did with the Evoke 35. So the Evoke 35 is based off the shoot down riser. So it's the same length as a shoot down riser with a little bit shorter limb, getting it down to that 35-inch axle range. And we're going to actually offer that with 2 cams this year. So last year with the Evolve 35, it only came with the big Evolve cam, the EC cam. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to offer it in the SE cam and the EC cam. So with the SE cam, it's going to go out to 30.5 inches and go down to 25. And on the big cam, which is actually pretty exciting for me being in the sales side of it, we're going to be able to fit way more people now because that goes out to 32 inches.
Yes.
So it'll be a 26.5 to 32 inch. Wow. So if you look at it overall, it's going to be 25 to 32 inch draw length adjustments.
Right, exactly.
Depending on the cam.
And that was one of the when I watched the video this week that they were talking about that, and that is exciting because I know a couple of my friends who are tall.
Everybody's taller than you, Danny.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so actually, exactly for that reason.
Being able to take that one platform and fit that many different people and still have cams that are super efficient is pretty exciting for us because that means we'll be able to fit basically anybody that's out there.
Yep, exactly. I mean, all the way out to that draw length is just is awesome.
Now, what kind of speeds are we talking?
So the difference between the big and small Evolve cam is going to be a little bit. So if you're looking at IBO on the SE cam version, you're going to be right around 335 feet a second. And then on the big cam at 30 inches, you're going to be around 330.
Okay, and that's on the 35 axle to axle?
Yep.
Okay.
So we have the EC cam, which is the Evolve cam, and the SE cam?
Yeah, the SE, the small Evolve, so SE cam.
Okay. All right. Now, with that having the shorter preloaded limbs on it, is our brace height shortening up on this at all?
No, it's actually with those limbs, we've actually lengthened out the brace height a little bit. So on the SE version, you're going to be looking at 6 3/4, and on the EC version, you're going to be almost 7 inches.
Okay. Wow. So you're going to have something that's going to be forgiving as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And especially with that long riser really, really does aim well. So you guys know I shot the shoot down basically for most of the summer until the new Focus came out. And that platform with the long riser, it's got dual cages on it, got a cage top and bottom, just feels really, really solid and aims really well.
So literally, you'll be able to take like an Evoke 35 and shoot it all year round.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it since the Evolve 35 came out. That's probably our best do-all bow for everything. So when the Evolve 35 came out, I shot it for indoor spots. I shot it for outdoor spots. A little bit of 3D. I don't shoot that much 3D, but I did shoot 3D with it. And then I took it hunting too. So it really is the best do-all bow that we have in our lineup, in my opinion.
that cage design, that come off of another bow that we've got in the lineup, correct?
Yeah, the shoot down.
Now, didn't we have something in the hunting series that had that caged riser as well?
The Expedite was
similar?
After the shoot down. It's similar to that. So if you look at the Expedite riser, it can kind of lead into this, but the Expedite riser basically is really, really close to the Evoke 31 now. So that's going to have really similar caged risers to one another.
Go ahead, Dan.
And so these two bows coming out, they're available now, and then what price are we looking at for them?
So something else we can talk about, too, when you're talking about price points, is we did unveil some new finish options. So in the past, everything we've had has been hydro-dipped. So that's you do a base coat on the riser, and then you dip it in whatever camo pattern you want. Now what we've done, we've gone to a color fusion technology. So with that, it's going to give you a little bit more durable finish. And the really, really cool part is the colors on the color fusion process pop way more than a dip process does.
They do. That's incredible, man. When I saw those,
yeah, it's amazing. So the color fusion process is a little bit more expensive for us to produce. So we're going to be looking at a $50 price increase for a color fusion bow. So that's going to have you're going to be able to do mossy oak, real tree extra, which is new for us this year. Cryptic altitude, which is a new one for this year, which I'm really excited about that one. And the other one we're going to have now is Cuyu Verde. So anything in a color fusion process is going to be $1049. And then if you do a like a black charcoal, another new color we have this year is a tan color, which I actually ordered one of those for myself. I saw it in the engineer's office, and I'm like, yep, I got to get one of those. So I ordered an Expedite in the tan. So any of those colors is still $9.99.
Okay, so we're still right in there in that same price range with the Evolve from last year. Pretty close.
Yep. Yeah. The only thing that changes is if you do anything in a color fusion, it's going to be a little bit more. But for the durability of the finish and just the way the finishes look in that color fusion process, I think it's well worth the $50 to get that if you're wanting the camo.
I tell you, when I saw that new color fusion design, I think Bobby Vargas actually posted one online with
yes, he did.
The country, Mossy Oak Country, and it popped. I mean, it was amazing how vivid and real that thing looked. You know,
and I can tell you the pictures and videos that I've watched since we've been back from the sales meeting, it doesn't do it justice in how good it looks.
Really?
So I've actually got a lot of calls from dealers who are like, man, these things are awesome with the new color fusion.
And these are out at dealers now?
Yep. So we did a preview pack for dealers that wanted to get bows in. They didn't really know what was going to be in there. We could kind of give my idea, but kind of went on blind faith from the sales guys, telling them, hey, you guys are going to need to get one of these in here. So the guys that ordered the preview packs, most everyone has them now. I know there's still a few that are going to be arriving at shops like Monday through Wednesday this week, but for the most part, everyone has them.
Okay. Hey, we just got a question from one of the guys online here. Don Gibson asks, is it possible to get 70 to 80 pound limbs on the Evoke?
Yeah. So this year we've actually went with the 80-pound limbs on the Evoke 35 and Evoke 31. So, yes, you can get 80-pound max limbs on those.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go, Don.
Yep, that's a new thing. Blake talked a little bit about it in our launch. Our engineers revamped the way we do our axles and bearings. So now we went to a little bit larger axle, and then we've been able to put 4 bearings inside the cam instead of 2. So that gives us the confidence knowing that, hey, you know, you can shoot this thing 20, 30, 40,000 shots before you're going to have any issues, where with the old smaller axles and only having 2 bearings, yeah, you probably would never ever shoot out a set of bearings, but now we're 100% confident in these bearings, and having 4 bearings in there just makes the thing way more stable at that higher poundage.
All right. Wow. Well, you know what? We're bumping up here on a break. Let's go ahead and toss our first break. We come back. Let's go through the rest of the lineup. We've got, I think, 4 more bows that we want to talk about.
Yep,
tonight.
I think so.
All right, we're going to step outside, take our first break. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, everybody. We're second segment of the show, talking with PSE sales manager Dan Jasa from Ohio via Skype tonight. We're talking about the 2019 hunting bow lineup. We just got done talking about the Evoke, and next one on the list here is the 2019 PSE Carbon Air Stealth 35 SE and EC. Is that the next one?
Evolve cam?
That's the SE is the small Evolve, and the EC is the big cam. So,
okay.
So we were pretty excited to launch this one. Again, being with the success we've had with the the Evolve 35 in the past, came out with a 33-inch version, and then we had a lot of people asking for a little bit longer carbon, so we were able to actually take that bow and make it a 35-inch bow. So we'll be able to offer that, and honestly, I think that's going to be a pretty good, maybe 3D and field bow for the summer too.
Okay. What are we talking about specs on this?
You're looking obviously 35 inches axle to axle. With the SE cam, you're going to be 335, and with the big EC cam, you're going to be right around 330.
Okay. So
when you're looking 6 7/8 to 6 3/4 inch brace height on those.
Okay. And these for poundage on limbs, I imagine 70 pounds max on these?
Yep, 70 pounds max on those.
Okay. And where does that put us in for price ranges?
It's the exact same as it was last year. So we're still at $14.99. So you can look at the other carbon bows that are on the market now, and you can kind of categorize them as like mid and low end carbon and high end carbon. And we're the lightest high end carbon bow that's on the market, and we're still below the other high end carbon bows that are on the market. So at $14.99, if you really, really want a carbon, I mean, look at the 33 and 35 inch version of the Stealth.
You got to go shoot one.
People don't really believe that there's that much of a difference between a carbon and aluminum bow until you actually pick it up and shoot it. I mean, I shot the Carbon Air 34 whenever I started this job, and I don't think I'll ever go away from another carbon bow again, just because they feel so nice when you shoot them, especially when you're out hunting when it's cold.
Well, the weight on it, just the weight reduction alone is just incredible.
And we talked about that, is like, especially if you're going to go out west, right?
Right, when you're packing and every ounce counts, But like you said, in the winter, like us up here in Michigan, there's no cold transfer through that riser, so that's huge. So
that's one of those things that you pay a little bit more money, but all the benefits that we talked about, whether you're going to be packing it somewhere or you're up going to be in cold, it's worth it.
Right. Now, as far as camo offerings on the carbon, I know they've offered the Mossy Oak before. What do they have for this one?
The only other one we're offering this year is going to be the Kuyu Verde.
Okay, gotcha.
So we've got Mossy Oak and Kuyu Verde on those two.
All right. Well, moving along here, we've got the next bow we've got is the 2019 PSE Drive 3B. Okay, I'm familiar with the PSE Drive, but 3B, where are we going with this?
The Drive's always had a drive style cam on it, and with the success of our Evolve line and people really wanting that binary style feel, our engineers actually took that riser and made a cam that would go in it that's still actually a binary cam. So it's really, really close to the Evolve feel. You've got a fixed 85% let off, and the cam just feels amazing on that bow.
It looks like something that it's just ready to jump right out and get out in the field. Man, I love the camo pattern that's on this thing. And what else have they changed on this bow from the old bows? I mean, a buddy of mine bought a Drive, I think, 2 years ago, and he simply loves it. But it is from, like, say, a 2016, 17-ish, coming up to this. Other than the binary system, is there anything else that's really changed on this, or are we looking at the same bow? You're
going to get a little bit more speed out of the 3B cam. The Drive, the 2016 would have been a Drive R, so you were looking at 75% let off on that one, and now we're up to 85% let off while still maintaining that 340 feet a second or 332 feet a second.
Okay.
Speed rating. So
the
cam feels amazing. I know we drew it back compared. It's a 29.5-inch bow, so we were shooting back to back with the Evolve 28, and just on feel alone, the cam feels so similar to an Evolve cam.
Really,
it's amazing. So with that bow, you're going to be able to do a whole package for $650.
Okay, that was my next question. Where does that put us? Because I know a lot of places I've seen that this does come in the package where it's hunt ready or field ready.
Yep.
Okay.
It's basically you have everything but a release and arrows.
Okay.
So it comes with a sight, a rest, a wrist sling, a stabilizer, a quiver, and basically all you need to do is pick out your arrows and get a release, and you guys are good to go.
And the price range on this one?
$650.
So for
a package,
$650, you're getting a bow that's shoot like you just said,
basically ready to go.
Ready to go, but it's close to feeling like that Evolve system.
Yep. I mean, there's a few things you get different on the Evolve. I mean, you get up in those higher price points, you're paying for a little bit more time of machining, a little bit nicer machine riser. Limb pockets are a little bit tighter tolerances, but the cam itself feels so similar to an Evolve cam. It's pretty amazing.
That's something else.
It is. It's for the price point, and all you're needing is arrows and a release, and you're ready to go. I don't think you can beat that kind of a deal.
Well, moving to the next bow here, we've got the 2019 PSE Bow Madness Unleashed.
Now, I've heard a lot of people, they love their Bow Madness. I've seen in different posts and everything, they love their Bow Madness. So
so the Bow Madness has been a staple in our lineup for a lot of years. I mean, you can go back to like the Bow Madness XS, XL. People, they really, really love that. And the last 2 years, we've had the Epics in the line. And what we've done this year, it's basically the same bow, but it's going to have that 3B cam on it. So it's going to have that Evolve-style cam on it. And this one is like the upper end of our mainline series. So these will be bows that will be in Bass Pros and Cabela's and things like that. So you'll be able to go in and get those. And those are going to be in packages for $750.
Okay.
And that'll get you a bow it's 32 1/4 inch axle to axle, I believe, and it shoots 340 feet a second at 85% let off.
That's smoking.
I don't know where you can't go wrong.
No, not at all. It just
yes. I mean, depending on where people like to shop, I mean, you're going to have options from us that are basically home runs at every different price point you go in and look at. If you take a $750 bow from us and shoot it against a $750 bow with someone else, I can almost guarantee you're going to feel like ours is the superior product, just because of the way our engineers have designed the cams and the risers, and it just the feel. If you're comparing price point to price point on another brand, these things are just amazing.
Well, I tell you, we just got a response out of Don Gibson here. He says, I may have to hang up the Hoyt and try the new PSE bows. So,
hey, like I said, I challenge everyone. If you go into it with an open mind, I know there's a lot of guys that they love their Hoyts, they love their Matthews, but if you go into it with an open mind and actually shoot these things and be honest with yourself and really pick out which one feels the best, I think we're going to win most of the time.
Absolutely. And that's what we've always said. Just get out and put one in your hand and shoot it. Just give it a shot.
Most important thing is they got to try it.
Absolutely.
Yep. They got to go into it with an open mind and realize that, we don't have the marketing dollars that the two other bigger companies have against us. So a lot of people are going in to buy stores based on the marketing they see. You got to be honest with themselves when they go in and shoot the bows and just pick out which one feels the best to you. I mean, we're a company that stands behind our product. I mean, you can ask any of the dealers that work with me how good I am with making sure warranty stuff gets taken care of. If they've had a bow for 8 or 10 years and they need a part, I'm going to get them taken care of. So you can't just go on marketing hype. You got to go in and pick out the bow that fits you the best.
Well, we got another bow here, and this one you didn't leave anybody out. You got right down to people who may be getting started, and this is called the Uprising.
Yep, the new Uprising. This one's going to be, I think it's going to get a lot of people that are kind of on the fence about getting into, do I want to get a bow and shoot it? And it's going to give them a price point where they can get into it and get a bow that has a huge adjustment range. So we're looking at 15 to 70 pounds and 22 to 30 inches of draw length for under $320. I mean, it's the cam feels pretty dang good for a $320 bow, and just having that adjustability, if you can get it for your kid, and then if your kid wants to upgrade, you as a dad can take the bow and go shoot it yourself. So
from 15 to 70 pound adjustment.
Yep.
That's incredible.
And then again here in a package, so all you're going to need is an arrow and a release.
Yeah. Now, okay, so we're looking at maybe somebody just getting into this. You've got a young teenager or, a kid that's maybe, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. What's our draw length minimum that we can get them into?
I believe that one goes down to 22 inches. Let me double check here.
Okay.
This one goes down to 14 inches, actually. So
14
to 30 inches of draw length adjustment. And with that is just going to be inch increments.
Okay.
But for someone who's getting into it, they may not notice the difference in a half inch. So you've got a huge adjustment range there. You've got 16 inches of adjustment.
And that's going to get them to, as they grow, they're going to have all of that room to grow into that bow with poundage and draw length.
Yes.
And as far as the ease of changing this in all the cam systems, are we just following the letters again to get us to the different?
Yep. That's one of the great things with our systems is everything's basically on a rotating module. So your A setting is always going to be the long setting, and whatever letter down the alphabet you get to is the lowest setting. So yeah, it's just making sure if you've got it set on F on one cam, make sure the other cam's set on F, and you're good to go.
That's awesome. And I also noticed on this sheet here, spec sheet, they've got it in Muddy Girl, so they didn't forget the gals. They're gearing this towards the girls as well.
Yep, we've got a couple. I think the Stinger comes in a Muddy Girl, and the Uprising comes in a Muddy Girl. We'll have the Drive in a Muddy Girl. So yeah, we've got the girls that like the pink. They've got some options.
That's awesome. Again, options.
Well, you gonna get a pink bow, Danny?
Put one in my hands, I'll shoot it. I don't care.
Yeah, I was actually doing the math earlier, not math, just looking at the range of bows we have, and basically anywhere from 28 to 40 inches of axle. We have a bow in every inch of axle minus, I think, 34 and 39.
See, there you go.
That's a wide range.
That's
it. I mean, we have so many bows that if we can't find a bow to fit you, maybe there's something wrong with you.
Right?
Yeah. You've either got super long arms or you got alligator arms, where they're just real short. So
exactly. And now Don Gibson is asking if PSE's hiring.
As PSE hiring,
right? But that's one of the
send in your resume.
That's one of the great things that I've seen from just knowing Dan the last 2 years and being with PSE is the ease that you can work with the equipment that's provided. You look at a letter, and it comes right on the card that comes with the bow, what letter means what to draw length, and it's so easy.
Yeah, it is. Even we can do it.
Right?
So easy, Danny can do it.
That's right. Hey, I tell you what, we're up here on our next break here. We come back. We want to shift gears a little bit. Well, actually, there's a couple other little items from PSE that we do want to talk about. So I tell you what, let's take our break, come back, and we'll continue that. And then we'll jump maybe across the pond and talk about your recent trip.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve cam system, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show. Still sitting here talking about new bows, deer hunting, all things good with PSE Archery and with Dan Jasa.
But you know what?
What?
PSE just isn't about bows.
That's what I hear. There was something that was released. We talked about it briefly, but Dan, since you've been out to Tucson, can you give us any more information on PSE rifles?
Yeah, absolutely. So when Pete started the company and made it PSE, he didn't make it in a archery exclusive name. So Pete's always been a shooter. He's got 50 BMGs, 338 Lapuas. He's got all kinds of big guns out of his ranch that he likes to shoot. So I think in his back of his mind, he's always wanted to kind of go into some kind of a firearm manufacturing capacity at some point. So with this last year, they did some work with some really high-end long-range shooters, and we came up with the PSE rifle name, and now we've got a few accessories for higher-end competition shooters. The main one is going to be our target rifle chassis. So it's basically an all-aluminum, all-machined aluminum rifle chassis that will have a 700 short action that can fit into that chassis. And then we've got some engineering. The engineerings have worked in some stuff into it with the recoil lugs, where basically it can take a 1 minute of angle gun and take it into a quarter minute angle gun.
Wow.
Jeez.
So
that's
So they worked with some really high end shooters and really high end gun makers to make this chassis, and it's basically we're gearing it towards the PRS competition series. So there's a lot of guys that are going out doing this. The competitions where, like, you go up to basically like shooting a 3D, where you go up to a stake and you range it, and you've got to shoot 10 shots at it. So they're in all different scenarios where you may be laying on cinder blocks in one shot, or you may be laying on pallets on another shot. So basically, we've taken this idea and built this chassis around the 700 short action to give guys an affordable chassis that they can get to make themselves a better shooter.
Okay, so this is mainly for target shooters, and this is something that you're not just going to take and build a gun, take it out hunting. This is more for precision shooting, long distance.
And I may take mine out in the woods. I don't know.
So you're going to build one?
So I've actually got my chassis on the way, and I've been talking with a gun builder out in Kansas City. It sounds like he's going to help me get together, because I like shooting guns. I've had guns in my house and in my life since I was probably 6 or 7 years old. So I like shooting, but my knowledge on the high-end side of guns is nowhere near what my knowledge is on the high-end archery side. So reached out to a few people I know, and they're going to help me build a rifle and see if I can learn how to shoot a gun too.
now they just didn't stop at a chassis, right? They got a few more things.
Yeah, we got a few other things too. So one of them is a Hog Saddle. It's a all machined aluminum saddle that you can either use for a rifle or a crossbow that you can actually mount to a tripod. So basically, like if you figure you take a fang out and you're wanting to get your younger kid to be able to shoot a deer, you can actually put that Hog Saddle on a tripod, lock it down, find the deer, and that saddle is tight enough where the crossbow can't move. So I'm sure you've all seen kids where, like, they're looking through the scope and they can't find what they're wanting to shoot at. You can actually line it up and get it to where they are close to where they need to shoot, lock it in, then put them on the crossbow where they can go and shoot.
I saw Cuz Strickland using that. That's exactly what he's going to say. He was going to use it for his grandson.
There you go. Okay.
Yep. And then we've got some other stuff too. We've got some D-rails and a Swiss lock for a bipod. So most bipods are attached to like a swivel mount for a sling. With the PRS series, since you're put in so many different scenarios, one fixed spot for your bipod may not work for one scenario. So we've actually got the D-rail where your bipod can slide up and down the rifle to get it to where you can fit into where you need to shoot and be able to make the best shot you can.
Gives you the flexibility to do what you need to do. That's nice.
Yep, and it is rock solid. That is for sure.
Now, is this going to be available exclusively at the PSE website, or are you going to see some of this maybe transition into some of the gun shops? This fourth quarter is mainly going to be all on the archery side, but once all of us get our rifles built, we're going to go out and take these things to the high-end gunsmiths, the gun shops, and things like that, and try to start getting them in people's hands and try to get sales up on those too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, so it sounds like you're going to be doing even more traveling.
Oh, yeah.
When are you going to find time to shoot?
Right? I may not have any anymore.
Right.
So we've got the archery. Is it the same website or a different website that we need to go to look at that stuff? It's
archery website's pse-archery.com. The rifle website is pserifles.com.
Okay. Pretty easy to remember.
Absolutely. You know, archery or rifles.
There you go.
Yep. Well, got a cool new logo with it and everything too. So cool. I'm actually pretty excited about this project, and getting back into shooting guns a little bit more is going to be fun. And I'm looking forward to trying to build a rifle I can hit something at 1,500 yards.
That would be cool.
I tell you what, I watched a little bit of a competition. They were shooting at 1,000 yards, and it was.
I would love to learn to be able to and learn to shoot at distances like that. So
we got a friend of mine. They shoot those. They shoot at the golf ball. So we can always hit him up anytime.
Well, yeah, the guy I'm having build my rifle, I just talked to him the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got back from a match. We were shooting a 2-mile match." I'm like, 2 miles?
2 miles?
Yeah.
Wow.
Shooting a 375 shy tack at 2 miles.
That's incredible.
Holy smokes.
That's throwing lead a long way.
That's a long way.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're still on the subject PSE here, there's one other thing that I was extremely excited about, and I saw that was actually come out the same day, I believe, is the product release, and that is a new person has hooked up with PSE. You want to go ahead and dive into that a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm sure you guys have seen the story on the internet, but Donnie Vincent, who is a extremely well-known cinematographer in the outdoor industry, he's done some great stuff, The Rivers Divide, and he's got a whole series of videos that he does. It's not a weekly series. He'll take one hunt and build a hour to hour and a half long show talking about the story of this one deer he's after, or the caribou he's after, or he just does an amazing job of trying to bring you into the experience that he's had. So short story is, he was going to a hunt and his bow got lost. He put something on the internet. Pete saw it. He called him and said, "Hey, let me send you a bow. Take it out, use it for your hunt, get you back going." So that kind of developed a relationship. Donnie came down to see Pete, stayed at his ranch for a few days, and long story short is now Donnie is actually shooting a PSE for us. So we're really excited to have a cinematographer and hunter of his caliber representing our brand now.
You know, everybody knows that's listening to the podcast for any length of time. This guy is like my cinematography idol.
Okay, so if you ever want to see Mike go crazy over a guy, you've seen this guy walking at the ATA. Probably the only guy with a stocking cap. Now that I think about it,
right?
I think everyone's wearing stocking caps now that Donnie's out there,
right? And Mike goes, "I'll be right back." I'm like, "Where are you going?" And he went and talked to Donnie Vincent.
Yeah, it's just I am so. It just captures his work. Just pulls you into the video, and it's just so captivating. It's incredible.
Yeah, if people listening have not seen anything of Donnie's work, do yourself a favor, go on his website. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure if you just Google Donnie Vincent, buy the DVD Rivers Divide, and you will thank me afterwards, because that's the first one that I watched of his was the Rivers Divide, and it was kind of like, oh my gosh, just the story he told and
the storytelling,
the emotions involved with it. He did an amazing job of capturing that and putting it onto film.
You know, the first one I saw was Who We Are.
Okay.
And if you go to, I think it's on YouTube, but I know it's on Vimeo. If you go over and just do a search for that, that one you can watch for free, and it's 7 or 8 minutes long about a hunt out, or why we hunt. And he's out in Alaska in the Brooks Range, and it's mind blowing, the cinematography that this guy does.
That's an excellent one too.
So I can't wait to see PSE in his films now. It's going to be incredible. So
yeah, we're excited about it for sure. I mean, we none of us knew anything about it until we got to Tucson. So it was exciting to have him on board with us now.
That's awesome. I mean, the guy is definitely top notch.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of top notch, before we go to break here, we'll touch on this just a little bit while we got Dan here. Dan, you recently took a trip to
the trip
of a lifetime to Italy, and you shot in the field. Let me get this right: the 2018 Archery World Field Championship. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I got it right. You introduced us to shooting field archery, and I've just been captivated by that as well. But you actually shot for Team USA. Let's dive into this just a little bit while we got some time.
Okay. What do you want to know?
What was it? I mean, first of all, you made the team. You know, what was that like?
So, we talked about it before. But basically, all the top shooters that went out to Darrington, Washington. We shot for 2 days. U.S. Nationals, they broke us down to 8 people after the first 2 days, and it was basically a shoot-off for a day for the top 3 spots to make Team USA. So from there, once you made the team, then we booked our tickets to Italy and flew over there. We left September. Well, we were supposed to leave September 1st, but American canceled our flight, so we left September 2nd, and then we were out there for basically 10 days at the World Championships.
Did the starting off with a day delay, did that kind of change your mental prepping for all this?
I always like to travel and err on the side of being too early than too late.
Right.
So when I had that happen, I was extremely nervous about all my bags and, more importantly, my bows showing up in Italy. So when the luggage rolled out and my bow case was there, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, thank goodness everything's here.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, anytime you fly with a bow, it's always what's going to happen and what it's going to look like on the other end, because I've seen some bad stuff from what TSA and the baggage handlers do to bows.
Now, the pictures we're actually showing here right now, just the scenery is incredible, but these are from the worldarchery.org. And to give due credit where it's due, who did you say took these photos?
I believe those are all Dean Alberga's photos.
Okay. All right. We want to make sure that we give credit for these, because just simply amazing scenery.
You had some...
Yeah, I mean, you can probably see it in a few of the photos, but the town at the bottom of the mountain is where we stayed, and then we took a bus ride up every day to the field. And then once you get up there, it's like everywhere you turn, there's something more beautiful than the last thing you've seen. So we were basically shooting in the Dolomite Mountains on the ski slopes. So basically, it took the runs where the ski slopes normally are and built a field course inside the ski slopes. Okay,
yeah. Okay, we had the picture up there with the town below, and I've got one up now. It's looking like looking down on the shooting line from above, and you guys.
So that's the practice range. So that's where we went every day to start the day. We went to the practice range, make sure everything's sighted in, make sure nothing's moved, sight didn't get bumped or something like that. So. First couple of days were basically spent there getting ourselves, making sure our sight tapes were right for the elevation we were at, and making sure everything was hitting where it was supposed to before we started shooting.
Elevation, that's an understatement. Some of the things that you guys were shooting at. Let me see if I can find a picture.
You know, you're speaking of elevation. Your being up in the mountains, was that different for the altitude?
As far... I mean, we were at 4,000 feet we were at 4,800 feet where we shot. So it wasn't way, way extreme, but you could tell when you were walking, like we were walking to the first target, you get a little bit out of breath.
Right, exactly. Because down here it's pretty flat.
Right. Yeah, we're flatlanders. Definitely.
But when you get up to that elevation, it does a little bit to your arrow flight. The air's a little thinner up there, so your arrows travel faster downrange. So, kind of took that into account before I left and made a guess on where my sight tape was going to be, and luckily I didn't have to change anything when I got over there besides like moving my indicator needle the first day, and then basically everything from there on out was pretty good. So
now, you were shooting uphill and downhill both, I take it?
Oh yeah. Uphill, downhill, side hill, horrible footing, good footing. I mean, they tested us very, very well there.
I got a picture up now of a target bale that has the 20 centimeter faces on them. You can just tell the incline, the way the picture was taken at the incline you guys, or the decline you were shooting at.
Was that the downhill one? Yeah, that was probably 30 degrees plus or minus. So and a lot of things people don't realize with the World Archery stuff is you're not allowed anything electronic to be on the course. So they'll give you the range, but you basically have to look at a target, figure out what angle it is, and then figure out what you need to take off of your sight tape. Like if it's a 50-meter target at like a 10% cut, you're looking at the thing going, okay, that's about a 10% cut. I got to take 5 meters off.
Gotcha.
So you're not allowed anything electronic to aid in that. So it all has to be done with your eye and judgment and figuring it out in your head.
That is something else, man. I tell you what.
How many members from Team USA were there?
We were the only team that had a full contingent. I think we had 46 total.
Okay.
36. I think we had 36 total. And that's the senior and junior teams, both men and women's compound and recurve, and barebow.
Wow. Okay. All right. The scenery to me, I just can't get over the what you guys had to have been able to experience there just by being there in the mountains like that. It's just simply incredible.
Did you have time? I know you spent some time doing a little shooting, but did you have some time to get out and do some sightseeing?
Yep. So luckily I qualified 5th, so one day I didn't have to shoot anything when they were doing some of the other matches. So Emily and I actually took a gondola ride up to Tofana, which is the high peak there in Cortina, which was 3,200 meters. So 11,000 feet and change probably. So that was pretty fun going up there and seeing all the ski runs, and they've got all kinds of bicycle trails down the hills, and I'm looking at it going, holy cow, I wouldn't even think about going down that thing.
With your bike, right?
But yeah, that was going up to Tofana was pretty neat. Emily got to go up one day when the clouds weren't there. Their clouds were there whenever I was there, but it was still a pretty cool experience to be that high up on the edge of a cliff looking down going, holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
now we have a picture up on the screen of I'm assuming this is the ski resort itself. It's looking down over some buildings. That was the ski resort you guys went up to every day?
That was the hotel that was at the top where the ski resort is, yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys stayed in town, took the bus ride up there every day.
Yeah, we basically had the pick of where we wanted to stay. So we just did some research on the internet and figured out which places had the best reviews, and we actually picked a little family-owned hotel that only had 20 rooms in it. I think there was like 10 or 11 Team USA that stayed there, and the food, they make you breakfast every morning, same thing every day, cured meats, eggs, some cereal, croissants, things like that every morning for breakfast, and then at dinner every night they had a 4-course meal for us, home-cooked 4-course meal.
Okay, you can't go wrong with a home-cooked meal.
That was always a highlight every night when you came in, because at breakfast you got to pick, like they had a choice of 3 or 4 things for every course. So we check off what we wanted for each one of the courses, and every night it's like, what did I pick? I can't remember. And it's like, oh yeah, I remember I got that. It was always amazing.
Well, we got a picture up right now, and you're looking uphill there at the ski run, but I mean the targets are set up, and I can't imagine what kind of incline this is looking up the hill. It's
yeah, so that'd be the finals venue. So they had all the medal matches there.
Okay.
So that's actually the ski jump hill they used for the 1956 Olympics.
Okay.
So you may be able to see at the top of it, and then I think we figured out from a little research on the internet that the angle of the hill itself was 38 degrees.
Wow.
Where the targets were set up. So.
I tell you what, it was great. It would have been better to actually see the matches, but
right.
I was watching it on the internet and trying to hitting the update button all the time to watch the scores go by, and it was just something to besides saying I know this guy.
Right.
It's just
Yeah,
And
if you do a little search on YouTube, you can actually find the medal matches on YouTube that World Archery posted, and you can see. I mean, there's not many places you can shoot a 60-meter target at 30-plus degrees uphill, and you can see. I mean, you've got the top archers in the world there, and I don't think a single person had more than 1 or 2 in the yellow the entire time of all the matches.
60 meters on a 38-degree incline.
Let it fly.
Yeah.
So you ended up losing to the eventual winner of it all, correct?
Yep. Yeah. So the way it works over there, they did a new system this year where you shoot your first 2 days. The top 2 people automatically go to the semifinals. So then from there on out, everyone else from 3 down to, I can't remember, 21 was the last place, I believe, had to shoot head-to-head matches up. I qualified high enough. I only had to shoot 2 matches. First match I won fairly easily, and the second match I had to shoot against Mike Slosher, who's the World Archery #1 ranked archer in the world. So,
but you took him to a shoot-off, though.
Yeah. Yep. So we went arrow for 6 targets, 18 arrows. We were still tied at the end of it. I think we shot 5 points higher than anybody else in the field. So luck of the draw, you got 2 guys that are shooting hot and have to shoot against each other. And we went to a 1-arrow shoot-off, and I lost out by about a 1/4 inch.
That's how close it was. Wow.
Yep.
I figured
one arrow at the end. It was proud of where I was, but at the same time still heartbreaking. And I mean, in the qualifications, the course I had to finish on like the last 4 targets. 3 of them were the hardest targets for that distance, for that size face. I ended up 5 points out of second place, and I missed 5 points my last 4 targets.
Okay.
So it was, and by points they count the inner X as an extra point. So I missed 5 X's the last 4 targets that kept me out of that second place and an automatic trip right to a medal match. So
you shot a 6, but the X counts as an extra point, so it'd be a 7 for the X?
No. The X is the 6, yep.
Oh, the X is the 6. Okay, I got you.
Yep.
I got you.
So people who are used to shooting normal NFA field where the dot is just 5 points and the inner X just counts as X, we actually count the X as a 6 point.
Gotcha. Okay.
Phenomenal.
So a 1/4 inch. Danny and I were wondering about that. We're like, we kept wondering, well, how close was it? We didn't know. So
we had to shoot off on the 20 centimeter face at 15 meters.
Is that what it came down to?
Yep. And Mikey's known to be one of the guys that he's either dead center or way out. And I just happened to get one of the times where he was dead center.
Wow.
And you were almost dead center, except by a quarter.
Yep, it was close.
Well, man, that had to be a trip of a lifetime, and I assume you're going to try again next in 4 years when it comes back. 2 years when it comes back around.
Yep, and unfortunately, in 2 years, the World Championships will be in Yankton, so I don't get to go anywhere fun if I make the team this time.
Okay. You don't get to go back to Italy.
No, unfortunately.
Oh man!
And we got a comment from one of our viewers. Once in a lifetime trip. Congrats to Dan, and thank you for taking me. I am so proud of you. Emily.
Oh, apparently Emily's watching.
Yeah,
Emily's
she's watching.
Yep.
That is cool. It's I'm gonna have to get over to YouTube and watch the video.
I will too. I didn't know they were over there on video, and it was tough compared to when we watched them at Lancaster.
Oh, I know,
which was awesome.
Yeah, because we sit right here in the studio.
I know
we were watching that. So,
we were 6 hours ahead over there, so you guys were probably at work while everybody was shooting. So.
He was. I was just getting up in the morning, and the first thing I did, I'd get up on the phone and I'd pop it. I had the app on, and I started watching or seeing the updates,
and then I'd get an update from him.
I'm like, Dan shooting, get online. So we kept hitting refresh to see the scores. So, but
it's awesome. It just I can't wait to see what you do in 2 years.
Yeah, no kidding.
Where's it going to be at in 2 years?
Yankton, South Dakota.
South Dakota.
Want to go to South Dakota, Dan?
I'm thinking he needs a cheering crew.
Needs an entourage.
I'm gonna get in. You know what? I'm gonna get into the PSE onesie and stand behind him, cheer him on.
Oh, good Lord!
No, he'll be behind all the other competitors.
That's a vision I don't want.
He'll be behind all the other competitors, saying stuff and making them miss. See what I got to work with? I tell you, engineers, right?
Hey, I'm telling you, I got it in my head how it's going to look.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you do.
Want that. I do not want that in my head.
Yeah.
But your competitors who you're shooting again will.
Okay, I tell you what. We go to ATA, run that by Bobby Vargas,
I will.
And see what he says.
I will.
Maybe he can get you a PSE unitard.
I'm in.
Gosh. Well, I tell you what. We're running up here close to the end of the show. We'll take our last break. We come back, but. Dan, congrats on a great trip and world shooting, man. It's just incredible. We've got the chance to shoot with you a couple times.
I ain't shooting against them.
And just standing beside watching and learning, it's pretty cool. It's awesome. So keep at it and hammer them. And thanks for running down the PSE lineup with us, tonight.
And also talking about the new rifle division.
The rifle division, and we got Donnie Vincent on PSE now, so a lot of good stuff coming.
I can't wait to ATA.
Can't wait to see what's going to happen next year. It gets better every year. So, well, listen, we'll let you go and let you relax here on a Sunday night, and Danny and I will wrap up the show. But you take care, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
All right, sounds good, guys.
All right, take care. All right, we're going to step outside, and we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back to the last segment of the show. Talking about bows and target shooting and everything, I'm ready to go out and kill something.
You know what? I'm ready. I leave Wednesday night for the UP for the weekend, and I'm excited to get out there and get
after it.
Get after it because I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I got 3 spots. I'm kind of playing it in my mind. I got the camera picks that I got and trying to figure out where and. There's going to be, Gabby's going to be with me, and then I got some other cousins that are going to be up there the same week, so we'll figure out where everybody's going to be sitting. But starting tomorrow, it's on.
It is on. I was out shooting today, getting ready for this coming week.
You were out shooting today. You did some good shooting.
Yeah, I was pleased the way I shot. I haven't shot as much as I'd like to have here recently, but... when I finished the day here, this is how I finished. There's 2 bulls there I was shooting at. The bottom bull was 40 yards, top bull was 50 yards, and they're all either in the red or the black. So
Exactly, and you're ready to go 50 yards. I don't think you're going to have an issue if you see your target that you're going to be after. I don't know if you got anything in particular. You're going to be after a doe right off the bat, or what are you going to be doing?
Whatever is presented is kind of the way that I'm going to look at it. I haven't seen anything on trail camera yet that's got me fired up. The biggest thing I've seen on trail camera is 8-point, and it's either a bigger 1.5-year-old or a smaller 2.5-year-old buck. To me, it needs another couple of years to mature to get to the level of what I want to shoot. So, and what we're trying to do there on the property.
Yep, exactly.
So,
you've got your management plan going. I'm kind of listening to what you're doing, kind of applying it to our property up there.
Yep.
But you're right, just trying to get those things going. And, it's time. Last weekend was the Liberty Hunt and the Youth Hunt. Looked like there was some good success out there. So
I tell you what, Josh Hagerman is on. He just tuned in here. I tell you what, go over and grab that box, Danny, real quick.
All right.
Because we talked. I did talk a little bit about this on the teaser that I did earlier. But here's a quick photo of the Easy Cut system that I actually used up at camp last weekend, and I was doing some trimming while I was putting up some tree stands. And right there, you can see that's an oak tree, and you can see the size of that limb that I cut. And it plowed right through it, no problem. And that's the ratcheting pruning shears. So, and as I said last week, I loved them so much that I actually went and I ordered the complete pack. And Danny's already tore into this thing. I was gonna unbox this right here, but
no, you had I had.
I have not looked in here. Have you looked in this? You pulled something.
I've looked in there.
Okay, so here is the bigger pruning shears. Okay, so
and those are heavy.
They are.
Those are not light.
Well, the ratcheting jaw system, similar to these. I actually used these again today. I went to work in the backyard. I did some trimming around my target.
Oh yeah.
I trimmed the pine tree and trimmed the fence line. We got a bunch of trees and grapevines and things that were growing in and getting in the way. So, but looking at this has got a nice little latching system right here to keep these things together. And here is the bigger pruning shears with the ratcheting system. So I can't wait to get out and try these. So what else we got in here?
Got a sharpening tool.
Got the sharpening tool, all right. As we're making noise here in the studio.
How about a wow saw?
I have heard from people that saw is the cat's meow. That is the one thing that guys want in their pack when they get in the tree stand. Hang on just a second. Here, as I got to set this down. This is the folding saw, and like I said, from what I've heard from people, this is pretty cool. It's got the folding locking blade on it. There you go.
Looks pretty nasty.
Hold still, let me see.
Yeah, you want to try it? Want to try on my finger?
Yeah. So, and it locks. So, got the sharpener. I got another set of pruners.
Now that I'm assuming goes in here.
Yep. So the whole thing has a kit or a case that it goes into. And actually, last week they had a quite a good sale on these. So I went ahead after using these in the tree stand. I'm like, well, heck, I'm just going to go ahead and get the whole kit.
And everything fits into there.
Yep. So it's like a little sling pack. Throw it over your back, over your shoulder, and away you go. You got everything you need. So
you can put the shears on your belt, and then everything else in the backpack.
Yep. So, Josh, I really appreciate you turning me on to these pruning shears here. It's definitely made my life a lot easier getting in the stand and trimming some things up real close by. We're going to get the big lopping shears. And actually, the lopping shears there, I think what I'm going to use those as well at camp for extracting jawbones. We're doing the deer management there at camp, and we got to pull jawbones out, and you actually need a pair of lopping shears to cut that flat spot of that. Yep. So, yeah, I know they're going to get a good workout, so they'll be used on that as well.
Do these extend?
They must. Yes. There you go. Very cool. Gotta like that.
Look at that. How many lopping shears can do that?
Right? So, very cool.
Absolutely.
So, there you go. The Easy Cut system. If you guys want to check it out, go over to their website. I think easycutproducts.com, I think. Make sure you Google it first.
www.easycutproducts.com. easycutproducts.com.
There you go. I was right.
You're right.
All over the place. Anyway, that is this system for getting your stand set. I like it. And I need a new pole saw. I have totally destroyed the one that I've got. So that's something else I'm looking into. A lot of guys I've seen, they've got the pole saws and they've got a little, like a miniature chainsaw at the end.
Like, okay, so there's a couple out there. I know I've seen one. It's called the Hueyman.
Okay.
Is the archery branded one.
Okay.
I know local stores have other versions of that.
Okay.
But some are like the battery operated.
Okay.
So kind of cool. They are kind of cool.
Okay. Well, that's something else I'm going to have to look into because that was something that we had to deal with a little bit. And not just cutting shooting lanes, but doing some trimming on some trees that we just couldn't reach up and get a hold of. So, like I said, the pole saw that I've got just about shot. It's pretty much useless now. So
right, and this is the latest thing with battery operated things is a extended chainsaw. So it's kind of nice.
So I tell you what, wrapping up the show here real quick. I got some pictures. I showed you these, Danny, real quick, just because we got a few minutes to fill here. I took my son to go get some bolts. I think this was Saturday morning. At a place here locally, that's all they deal with is bolt and screws and nuts and washers, things of that nature. And the guys that own that are actually members of the shooting range that I belong to.
Oh, okay.
And this is their new building. And inside the building, the old building, they had some taxidermy mounts, I haven't been in the new building, but when I walked in, I was actually blown away.
And they got them all there.
All the game mounts. And you're like, okay, yeah, there's a whole wall full. Well, look closely in that right-hand corner. There's grizzly bear there. There's a moose, and there's a goat, mountain goat in there. And then there are double doors that you see off to the side there. There's an entryway that has actually even more in there. But, looking up close here, there's some...
So they actually have the main to purchase, and then they actually almost like have a showroom?
I don't know if this is like into their office section here. Okay. That glass, I shot through the glass doors here, but they're
a giraffe.
A giraffe, yeah.
Yeah, they've been around.
Yeah, and looks like a couple more grizzly bears outside there. So that's two more, and it's pretty cool to be able to go into a place of business. And when do you see a big moose head like this grinning at you? So. And then the two cats up here on the wall, I thought was pretty cool as well. So.
And I like how they did them on a branch.
Yep,
that's cool taxidermy to me.
Yeah, I'd like that. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. We went in there and I got to see some taxidermy mounts. There's a lot of big African game animals there. Elands and kudus and all kinds of other critters. So. Yeah, that was a good morning.
Absolutely. I'd definitely say that was a good morning.
Went in, spent...
Did you find what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
$3.12, I think, is what I spent on 4 bolts and nuts and washers.
There you go.
High tensile strength that he needed for his drive shaft.
That'll do it.
And, and then I walked around and spent, 10 minutes looking at all the animals. So, it's pretty good.
That's awesome.
So,
well, hopefully we'll be getting some animals of ourselves here soon within the next month or so.
I'm hoping to, that I'm going to probably, first old doe that comes through is going to have a freezer tag on her, hopefully. And that's what I'm going to be doing, I mean, obviously, if it's a shooter buck, there's no question about that if that happens. But in coyotes as well, we got a problem with coyotes. Had another coyote taken at our place this week. They're rampant.
Yeah, they got to be dealt with.
Yep. So, that's definitely on the list as well. So hopefully it's a target-rich environment.
There you go.
So, but that's all I got this week.
Absolutely. Stay tuned. Hopefully I'll be back from up north next week. Full report from the UP, and hopefully it's a good report.
Well, hopefully I'll get a chance to get up. I don't know if I will yet or not. We're still doing some stuff at work, and I don't know if I can shake loose for the weekend. But if I have the opportunity, it's northbound and down.
There you go. Sounds good to me.
So, quick shout out to Dan Jasa tonight for sitting down for an hour talking with us. Great information on the new 2019 PSE lineup. Get to your local PSE dealer, shoot the new Pro lineup, and if the big box stores is more in your price range, on the regular level line of bows,
the mainstream,
go over to Bass Pro, Cabela's.
All your big box stores should have them or be getting them in, but definitely the PSE, the dealers have their dealer packs.
Yep.
That they were going to get. They should have them, and so you can shoot them.
Get out, get one in your hand, and give it a try. That's all we ask. Just give it a fair shot, because I tell you what, you'll be surprised. So, anything else?
Nope, that's it. I'm itching to get up north.
All right. I tell you what, for those of you on the podcast tonight, that'll do it for us. So we're going to sign off until next week. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Carbon Express,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Winsent Hunting Scents,
Killer Food Plots, Seeds, Supplements, and Attractants,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Twisted Minds Bowstrings,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Antler Action,
and Family Traditions Tree Stands.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.